What's up, everyone? My name is Alan, founder and consultant at For Now Marketing, and welcome to Braze for Technical Marketers. Today, let's go over the use case of how to send a 6-month renewal reminder email. Maybe your service is a multi-year subscription or commitment, and if the user's renewal date is coming up, you want to send them a 6-month, a very far in advance heads up. How do we do that in Braze? Let's get started. First, before we can jump into the email and the liquid setup, we do need to have the renewal date as a custom attribute, or if not a custom attribute, at least the event trigger property. Although now that I'm thinking about it, a custom attribute would make much more sense. So for me, I have a renewal date that's actually coming up in about 6 months. This is it's technically October 10th, 2025, at UTC time. It's getting logged as a Pacific time zone, so I lost a few hours and it became October 9th. But the value that I logged was October 10th, 2025. Today is April 10th, 2025. Um, it is technically 6 months before, but we will see in just a second why it won't exactly work that way. So here I have our how to send a 6-month renewal reminder email, and we have our drag and drop email. And the idea is we are going to first figure out what is 6 months before our renewal date. So I'm going to go ahead and insert our custom attribute renewal date. Oops, it's in all caps. And then let's just take a look at what we're seeing in Braze. So renewal date, and actually maybe this could be part of our email. Hello, your renewal date is coming up in about 6 months, and then it'll be renewal date. Let's take a look at what that looks like, what we're getting. And by the way, oops, oh, and we have to search our user. It's under Alan. And of course, this is going to just, if we don't apply any changes, it'll look like this raw data. For this video, we will keep it this way, but of course, you may want to format it something a little bit more friendlier than that. And now we want to send a 6-month renewal. So we need to figure out what is 6 months before October 10th, 2025. So one thing to note is in Braze liquid or just in any liquid, you can definitely perform date calculations are possible in liquid, but mainly in terms of seconds. So it's a bit harder to subtract exactly 6 months and determine that the date of April 10th, 2025, for example. Because also, let's think about this situation. What happens if the renewal date is October 31st, 2025? Then should our 6 months before be April 30th or May 1st, right? And then now we kind of get to this. We have to make a decision on that. But that's not why it's hard. It's just hard because there isn't a way to subtract 6 months. There isn't a way to subtract 6 months directly. But in all Liquid's calculations, what we do is we convert the timestamp into seconds in Unix time. In all date calculations, we convert the date into Unix time, which is seconds since 1970, January 1st, at midnight UTC. That way, this gives us an anchor in time, and we are able to perform date calculations that way. Let's get into what that liquid looks like. First, we're going to assign 6 month. Well, let's call it 180 days reminder date equals, and we'll give it a blank value for now. It's we can't do 6 months, but we can do 180 days. And actually, once again, it's going to be in terms of seconds, but 180 days is actually more accurate to say than 6 months. And how we're going to calculate that is 180 days reminder date is going to be equal to our renewal date. Actually, we don't usually like to store a variable as another custom attribute, and we got to do more filters. So let's actually do some calculation before we even get to that state. So let's get a variable called renewal date Unix, and that will be equal to the custom attribute renewal date. And then we are going to apply the date filter. %s is something you always want to remember. And then let's just look at what renewal date looks like. So if I go ahead and render renewal date Unix, we should get some broken liquid. Okay. Unknown tag renewal date Unix. Let's see. Oh, we forgot the assign tag. Always remember the assign tag. Let's try that one more time. Okay, so this is what we have. This date should be October 10th, and let's actually look it up. Unix time. I always like to just do a quick Google search to confirm, and that gives us convert Friday, October 10th, 2025. So that's perfect. That confirms it. So now let's go back to Braze, and now that we have renewal date Unix, what we can do is we can assign 180 days equal to renewal date Unix. Except we're going to subtract or minus, that's minus is a filter. We're going to minus 180 days worth of seconds from this renewal date Unix time. Now that's going to be a big number, but I mean, anything is possible with Google, right? 86,400 is how many seconds are in a day. That's a number that we have memorized at this point. And then what is that times 180? Well, it's not that big of a number. It's just 15 million seconds. I guess if we count 15 million seconds, 6 months will have passed by. Let's go ahead and subtract that from our number. And that will give us, let's actually just render it first. That's going to give us the Unix date of 180 days before our renewal date. So if I go ahead and do that, I should see two numbers. So you see how this top number has more seconds than the bottom number. This means how many seconds has it been since 1970 January 1st, midnight? And I guess it's a difference. It's exact difference of 15 million seconds. That explains the 6 months difference. Um, but then this is a date for 6 months before that, and I want to check that as well. What date is this exactly? And that's April 13th, 2025. So I guess 180 days before October 10th is April 13th. We lose a few, or the numbers get shifted as each month has different number of dates. So great, we're almost there. The last thing we need to do is maybe just convert it into a nicer format. So date percent capital F gives us ISO 8601 format. So let's take a look. 100 days, reminder date, ISO 8601. And that should give us 2025, April 13th. Great. So this we're done with the first part, and I promise we'll get through our second part much quicker. But now we know exactly when 180 days is going to be. We have it in our variable. So now, how do we only send this reminder email exactly 180 days before the renewal date? It's really more like how do we send this reminder? Yeah. So first, let's take a step outside of our email builder, and we are going to go to our scheduled delivery. And this email is going to be scheduled to send every single day. Every single day at maybe just 6 a.m. the user's time. They can wake up to this email. We are going to send this email, attempt to send this email every day. We're not actually sending this email every day. We're just going to attempt to send this email every day. And when Braze wakes up and it's 6 a.m. and it's ready to send this email, it's going to check inside the email for any liquid conditions to make sure whether it should send or abort. And what that liquid's going to look like is first we're going to assign today equal to a liquid special variable called now. And we also like to put now in the ISO 8601 format, so percent capital F. And then just to check today, I just want to see that today is actually, in fact, today, and today is April 10th. So today is, well, it's April 10th, but April 11th in UTC time. But that's okay. And actually, if what we could do to fix that is applying a time zone, time underscore zone, and it's going to be America slash Los underscore Angeles for me. So that should really say April 10th for me now. Yeah, look at that. Great. Okay, promise we're almost there. So now the liquid code is if today is equal to 180 days reminder date, then we are going to do nothing. We're going to just send this email. Um, we're going to, yeah, just proceed as normal, and then maybe the rest of the email is sent. You don't even have to have this portion here. You could have it way below. But in an if statement that has nothing, it just means let it happen, go ahead. And what we can even do is comment and just say let the email send without aborting, and comment. So that's just kind of a behind the scenes comment. This is more of me letting you all know what's happening here. However, in all other cases, so if today is not equal to 180 days reminder date, so let's say today is any other day but the 180 days. Today is the 181st day, or today is the 30 days before the reminder day. Then we are simply going to abort this message and say that it is not the 180 days. Uh, Actually, to be more clear, today is not 180 days before renewal date. And then, as always, make sure to close the end of statement. So it's really just this portion right here that determines should this email send today or not. If today is equal to 180 days, then go ahead, let this email send. Otherwise, let's abort this email. So let's take a look. Let's preview and see what happens. So our message is going to abort because it is not 180 days. And today is April 10th. Um, so if today is equal to 180 days, and what did we say our 180 days was? It was April 13th, right? So then maybe we could just force our renewal date 3 days ahead and see if we actually see this email. So right now our renewal date is October 10th. I'm going to push that to October 13th. So that's been done. It's 13th, but UTC time. That's why we're seeing October 12th. Then now let's go to our email. Let's see if that changes things. Come on, search user, Alan, and something is not right. Actually, let's just try leaving the screen, coming back. The data might not have updated. Preview and test. Come on, come on. So just a quick debugging session here. I'm going to go ahead and just erase the abort sentence for now. And I just want to know what is today and what is 180 days reminder date. And then let's just compare the two. So today, oops, and then it might be best to label, well, I already have today and then 180 days reminder date. Let's bold those two so we can actually see what's happening. Oops, I don't think I bolded them. Or maybe I did, but it's just not showing up. Today is that, and 180 days reminder date. Okay. Let's search my user up. Okay, 180 days reminder date is April 16th, and today is April 10th. I am just realizing I went backwards. Instead of adding 3 days, I should have subtracted 3 days. So give me 1 second. Okay, so now our user's renewal date's October 7th, and now hopefully, well, first I'm going to search myself up, and I'm confirming that today is April 10th, and my 880 days reminder date is April 10th. So that's great. Although I think we're going to have an issue here where even though the dates are exactly the same, you do see that today has a lot more values behind it. So for example, today is not only 2025-04-10, but it's got all of these things in it. So when you are setting up Liquid this way, you want to make sure the values are exact. And I have a feeling it's because I put my time zone coming after the date. So I'm just gonna try swapping that and see if that fixes anything. So look at that. Perfect. Now our two values are precisely equal. So now I should be ready to add the abort statement again. Oh, I thought I copied it, but I didn't. Abort message, no space. Today is not 180 days before renewal date. And then now for one final check. So that was a fun little debugging session. Ah, I am able to see the email. That's great. Otherwise, if today is not my 180 days reminder date, it should abort. If today were to be April 9th or April 11th or any other date that's not April 10th, this email would abort. So you can go ahead and set up your renewal message here and just know that even though Braze will attempt to send it every single day, it will only send one day of the year, which is exactly 6 months before the renewal date. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.